Listen up, we have an urgent THCA announcement about the hemp industry. And as you probably have already heard, there's only 12 months left before THCA changes forever. Right now, thousands of THCA brands are thriving in a unique window of opportunity. But by November of 2026, that door is gonna slam shut. So the clock is ticking. And if you're in the hemp space, it's time to make serious decisions about your future. Things like what happens if and when the THCA loophole actually disappears nationwide. Will your business live on? Will it survive? Or will it transform and thrive? This isn't just about the bans. It's also about positioning, adapting, and building smarter. In today's video, we're breaking it all down, and I'll be showing you how to take advantage of these final 12 months before the industry changes for good. In case you don't know me, I'm Chris, and I've been active in cannabis wholesale since 2004, and I've also held one of California's earliest state distribution licenses back in 2017. And while laws kept changing, I've built and sold a cultivation facility that scaled to $3 million, launched Zotics in 2022, which moved into over 100 licensed retail stores. And then I released my second brand, Lowski, in 2024, focusing on fire indoor for affordable prices. Today, I teach cannabis entrepreneurs how to structure and scale their licensed cannabis brands without having to own a license. We also go over this daily on Telegram, as well as our school community. The link's in the description below. Be sure to check it out. Okay, let's get into it. So what happened and what mistake are people making? Recently, a game-changing law was signed regulating hemp and cannabinoid products across the board. So 1 year from now, in November 2026, this law will go into full effect. And it redefines what hemp is allowed to contain. And that's only 0.4 milligrams of total THC per product container. Total THC includes THCA plus Delta 8, Delta 10, and any other intoxicating or synthetically derived cannabinoids. So what does this mean in plain English? It means that most of today's THCA flower and pre-rolls will become federally illegal hemp. In just 12 months from now, your favorite online stores, boutique brands, and THCA retailers could vanish unless they evolve into fully state-regulated cannabis operators. So instead, while people are panicking, some people are turning this into an opportunity. Which brings me to the point of one of the books that I base all my business decisions off of, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. And in that book, he talks about how you must never lose heart. Do not be disturbed by appearances. And that means to never let things out of your control bother you. Just put your head down and work. So instead of complaining about this and talking all about how horrible this ban is gonna be, instead turn it into an opportunity. While these laws are evolving, so is the industry behind them. And that creates one of the biggest opportunities that we've seen yet. And now people are either leaning back or leaning in. And here's how to be in that second group that's building, adapting, and securing your future no matter what happens next. So here's the action plan. Legally, the federal law says that starting in November 2026, no hemp product can contain more than 0.4 milligrams of total THC per container. Total THC includes not only Delta 9, but also THCA and other analog cannabinoids like Delta 8, Delta 10, even the THC-P. All these synthetic cannabinoids as well are included in that. So even if they're naturally derived, that means that nearly all current THCA flower becomes illegal as hemp. So it used to be a federally legal loophole that THCA wasn't intoxicating in its raw state, which it isn't, by the way, until you burn it. But that loophole is now officially closed. So moving forward, THCA is treated just like Delta-9 THC. From that point forward, THCA flower can only be sold inside state licensed cannabis programs. And that means you need a cannabis license, you need full seed to sale tracking, and you need to comply with the state tax structure of the cannabis program. This also means you cannot ship product across state lines. And the changes aren't just federal. Some states have already been leading the charge with their own bans. Months and even years ahead of this, places like Alabama, California, Georgia, Iowa, Louisiana, Kentucky, a lot of them have either banned smokable hemp or they look at total THC and not just Delta-9 THC. And that's the way to ban this easily. And that's exactly what the federal government did. Because when you take total THC, it takes THCA plus Delta-9, times it by a multiplier to account for decarboxylation, and that combined total is always going to be way over 0.3%. Other states like Minnesota, they only allow low-dose hemp edibles. Flower is effectively banned. States like Florida, Virginia, and Texas, they're switching over to total THCA limits. So that automatically disqualifies all THCA flower. And then even the states where it's technically legal, online THCA sales are getting restricted via shipping and merchant service blocks, such as your payment processors. Even states where it's technically legal, online THCA sales are getting restricted, potentially by shipping blocks, but mostly by payment processor blocks. And if the law remains, the window is closing. So even where it's technically legal in the states that it's still legal in, online THCA sales are also getting restricted via shipping blocks and, more importantly, payment processors just not processing payments. So we might even see that issue happen sooner than November 2026. And if this law banning hemp remains, the window is closing. But it's still open for 12 months. And during these last 12 months, businesses still have room to make a lot of money. Also, by building loyal audiences, it'll also get you unique market positioning. So when you do transition out of the hemp space into the licensed cannabis space, you can use all that momentum to really build your market over there. So back to what Wallace Waddles says, focus on what you can control and not what's changing around you. Because without laws, the industry would be in complete chaos. So what we're seeing isn't just the government cracking down. We're seeing normalization and predictable pathways toward legitimacy. These rules are actually a blueprint for building a sustainable cannabis business in the cannabis space. So here's some options for what you can do. Option one is you can pivot now by moving away from THCA flower and getting into compliant hemp products, low dose hemp products, creams, muscle rubs, maybe even edibles, beverages, topicals. So you can be building out these foundational systems to prepare for a licensed hemp future if that's the market you want to stay in. Option two is to use the next 12 months strategically, riding this THCA wave while also investing into licensed pathways at the same time, which includes building partnerships with existing cannabis operators and preparing for a transition from the hemp space into the licensed cannabis space. Or option three is you do nothing, wait for the deadline, and risk losing your entire product line overnight. And there's no guaranteed outcome. But what we do know is this: if you really do work hard, plan well, and stay grounded in what's within your control, you're gonna survive. Not only survive, but you're gonna succeed. No matter what laws come your way. No matter what laws come into play. And this is how we win, not by panicking and not by fighting the future, but instead by understanding it and adapting early. So as far as the implementation steps, Step one is to stay educated. Keep up on these new changing laws, but don't put your entire focus on it. Keep an eye on new developments from the FDA as well as the DEA, and know which states are still viable for THCA and which ones are tightening up faster than that November 2026 deadline. You can also join my school community, my Telegram community, and my email list to stay up to date on everything. The link's below. Second is to build smarter. Don't just scale THCA inventory. Also invest in brand equity, your email list, manufacturing partners, compliant packaging, and even lawyers and legal counsel for your licensing strategy. I'll definitely be going over the technicals of all this in an upcoming video, and we'll be touching on this throughout the year. Third is to consider the next chapter, and whether that's entering the regulated cannabis market or pivoting to compliant hemp-derived products, start planning a post-THCA game plan now. The most successful companies in cannabis aren't the biggest, they're the most adaptable. The clock is ticking, but if you're committed, disciplined, and forward-thinking, this transition doesn't have to be an end. It's truly a powerful beginning. So think what you'll build while you still have the time. You better not look back and regret 12 months from now. And that's really what bothers me is I get a lot of these, I do free consultation calls. You can click the link below. It's after you watch my free brand building program. It's a 30-minute webinar there. So book a call with me. However, on these calls, I've been taking them for close to a year now. And I don't know if more than half the people, less than half the people have actually taken action, for sure. And a lot of the people that I've talked to, even 6 months ago, have called me talking about getting their THCA brand started. And a big chunk, I don't think have. At least I haven't heard from them. I haven't seen it on their IGs. And what that tells me is they had it on their radar a month ago, 3 months ago, 6 months ago, even 12 months ago, but they haven't pulled the trigger. They haven't taken action. And that's really what bothers me is it's not about taking action for my sake. It's not about, having me help you take action, nothing like that. I really could care less about anyone else's brand. I'm focused on what I got going on. I'm focused on making this content to help 1,000 cannabis entrepreneurs get to $1 million brand. And that's my main focus. And there's only 1,000 of those candidates qualified. And a lot of those people on these phone calls just haven't been that type of person. So the reason this bothers me is because a lot of these people have had opportunities to get their THCA brand not only started, but scaled up over these past few months. And I sense a lot of just casualism in these phone calls where it seems like people are just extracting what information they can get out of me and then contemplating it, processing it, waiting on it, figuring it out, trying to think about how can they do it the cheapest way? How can they start it without spending money? And these are all shortcuts that are gonna hold you back. And if you're serious about business, one thing you gotta understand is the time value of money and also the time value of opportunities, which means opportunities don't last forever and money loses its value over time. So the longer you wait to make decisions, not only are you losing your opportunity, but you're also losing out on all that time that you could have had that head start to making the money that you should be making. Because if you read that book by Wallace Wattles, we have the godly right, all of us, we're entitled to be rich. Not only are we entitled to it, but God wants us to be rich. Because unless we're rich and wealthy, we can't experience all the gifts that life has to offer. We can't take care of the families. We can't do the opportunities that we want to do, have the experiences we want to have, try the foods we want to try, travel to the places we want to travel. And that's truly what life's about. It's about these experiences. It's about creativity. It's about expressing that creativity. It's about joy. It's about peace. And more importantly, it's about growth. And so all this stuff requires some form of resources in order for that to happen. And if you say it doesn't, you're just being naive to that, because you need to pay your rent every month. You need to pay your car bills. You need to pay basic human expenses, food, healthcare. If you got a family, that's another heavy expense. So my point being is, we're not put here to just get by. We're put here to live a life of abundance. However, everybody has been mentally trained through society, through schools, through government, through parents, through peers, through just spreading fear, talking about, complaining about, constantly reminding people about the bad things. And that's how you consistently live in a world of scarcity. And so by living in a world of scarcity, you're focused on scarcity instead of focusing on abundance and living in a world of abundance and understanding that there's enough for everybody to live in abundance. There's enough to go around. You don't need to take from someone else in order for you to come up. And that's that common misconception where people are hating on people because they see they're doing better than them, or people are robbing from people that are doing better from them, or people are talking shit or thinking that, wishing bad on people, saying, oh, they're not going to accomplish that. There's no way they're going to be able to do that. So all these different forms are scarcity mindsets that you're thinking you're talking shit about someone else, but really all you're doing is holding yourself back. So stop worrying about other people. Stop counting other people's pockets. Stop worrying about if someone else is going to be able to make it, or if they should make it, or if they deserve to, whatever. It doesn't even matter to you. Focus on what you can control. Focus on what's in your wheelhouse that you can actually change, make some change about. That's why getting worked up over this hemp bill, over the politics, over the government, contrary to whatever you may think, you're not going to change it. I don't care who you are. And even specific powerful governors, senators, this, that, and the other, they're not going to change it solely. So all you can focus on is your world, what you have control over, decisions you make, things you do, reasons you do it for, and understand that every thought, every decision throughout the day is accumulation that adds up to that scarcity mindset or that abundance mindset. So stop and think, how are you holding your own self back by hating on other people, by having negative thinking, by thinking things aren't possible, by thinking you can't achieve this, oh, you need too much money for this, oh, I don't know how I'm gonna start that. All these thoughts are negative scarcity thoughts rooted in fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And fear, uncertainty, and doubt are the killers of abundance, of our creativity, of our dreams, of our growth, of our joy, of our happiness, of our peace. So anytime you experience fear, uncertainty, or doubt, you have to label that. And you have to say, no, this is a false belief. This is not aligning with my thought process or my outcome. And you label it as that. And not all thoughts have to be real. We put the value on each thought that comes into our head. And a lot of these thoughts aren't even our thoughts. So people start to think sometimes, if they have a repeated thought over and over, that it's just reality. And sometimes these thoughts can be coming from associates, peers, parents, teachers, friends, TV, media, social media. So like all these things could be influencing your thoughts that you just think are your natural thoughts or your natural beliefs, when they really don't have to be. So this is a classic case of that right now with this government bill. And by allowing yourself to get worked up, talk shit, complain, be a victim to it, these are all the wrong ways about it. So instead, learn how to take the opportunity, grow from it, build yourself stronger. Be sure to do it in a way that's your growth is going to actually come from this shift, and look at the good side of it. Maybe it's going to close down all this extra competition or all this static in the market. And now we have a more concise market that you can market to. And yeah, it's going to, if this ban stays in place, it's going to increase the traditional market too, the legacy market. However, again, that doesn't matter. There's still going to be the license market, and the license market's going to go up too. So the point is, you can either focus on what you've been doing, take your time, keep wasting time, keep thinking you have this endless opportunity, And it's not. Even the licensed cannabis space is a closing window of opportunity. At best, we have about 2 years. And if you don't get your independent brand into the licensed cannabis market within the next 2 years, I'm not saying it's gonna be impossible, but it's gonna be way harder, way more expensive, and a much bigger uphill battle. It's just like if you were to buy a bunch of Bitcoin back in 2016 versus a bunch of Bitcoin now. Back then, I was getting Bitcoin at like $2,000, $3,000 a coin. Now it's $100,000 a coin. So I'm not saying you can't buy Bitcoin now, but you're literally buying it at a 50x multiplier. So the point is, if you can get into this licensed cannabis industry now as a licensed brand without having to own a license, and especially you're doing it before everyone else is, before it's a mainstream strategy, as well as while this hemp law is closing, which means all that market share has to go somewhere. Yeah, some's gonna go to the traditional market, but also a big chunk's gonna go to that licensed market, especially in the key states like New York, like California, Arizona, Florida, Michigan will probably see an uptick because Ohio just legalized. They were big on THCA. So all these places that had the THCA popping, but they also had a licensed cannabis program, they had a fragmented market. Now that the THCA is closing, but those states that still have a licensed cannabis program, such as New Jersey, Ohio, there's a handful of others too that had them both. I think Missouri as well. It's gonna be a huge windfall for those licensed operators, not only the license holders, but also the licensed brands in those licensed markets. So take advantage of this. It's a huge, huge come up right now if you're a brand in the licensed market or about to be in the licensed market. And then on top of that, we still have 12 months. So all those people that I've talked to on the phone, all the people that have thought about this that I haven't talked to even, that have been keeping it in the back of your head like, oh, I'm gonna start a THCA brand, I'm gonna start a THCA brand, I'm gonna start a THCA brand. Take some fucking action, because that's the problem, is you're sitting here thinking that opportunity is gonna last forever. And you're sitting here thinking like, oh, I'll buy Bitcoin next week. I'll buy it next month. Oh, I don't have to buy it now. And that's back when it was $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a coin. And you waited, now you're like, oh fuck, I should have bought it. I was gonna buy it back then, but I never did. And you all know what I'm talking about. And if it didn't happen directly to you, it guaranteed it happened to a friend, a family member, a coworker, something. You've heard that story time and time and time again. Oh, I should have bought it back then. Oh, I should have bought Tesla stock back then. Oh, I should have done this. Oh, I should have done that. Well, now is the time when you make that decision that if you don't, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 years from now, you're gonna say, oh, I remember back in 2025 and they had that hemp ban. I should have started my brand back then, but I didn't. I should have been getting into stores in the licensed market, but I didn't. I should have been taking that last 12 months and really ran it up on the THCA side, but I didn't. I should have been already in smoke shops in the THCA market because I was planning to start my THCA brand 6 months before the ban, but I didn't. So you can either continue being that person, or you can take control of your life, take inspired action, and take daily action. Don't do tomorrow's work today. Just do what you can today. Get that out the way, and then wake up tomorrow, do the same thing. Work on what you can that day, make some progress, and day by day, you're gonna be a lot farther than if you're just waking up each day thinking like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, and you never do anything. So I hope I'm not repeating myself here. I'm just kind of venting. It just bothers me a bit because not only also on these calls, I'm telling people, yo, it's not just about the THCA market. You want to be in both. You want to be in the licensed cannabis market and the THCA market because they're two different revenue streams or two different markets. If you're a brand, you should exist in both. But what I've told people time and time again is that THCA market is fragile. It can get shut down overnight. And I've been saying this for weeks and months to people. And it literally got shut down overnight. I mean, granted, we have a 12-month grace period, but literally no one expected this. And we literally found out about it, and 2-3 days later, the final vote happened. It got shut down overnight, guys. And I know there's people out there watching this video that were on calls with me that I told them this weeks and months ago. yet they were still focused only on THCA. And I keep saying, it's not smart to just focus on one. You want to be on the cannabis, the licensed cannabis side, as well as the THCA side. And that same strategy holds true now. It's more important now because you have 12 months to really run it up, to get your THCA website popping. And that's not hard to do. You really get a Shopify, get a WooCommerce, get your payment processor, get some ads ran to it. I mean, it's basic, simple shit. But the biggest thing is if you don't have your brand built out properly, you need a proper brand foundation built out. You can't just whip up a logo and put it on some packaging and expect to make millions. It's not how it works. There's so much more that goes into a brand. The psychology of it, the fundamentals of it, the vision of it, the voice of it, the heritage, the unique value proposition, the ideal customer profiles. Like there's so many components that if you don't have each and every component, your brand isn't an actual brand. And it's like trying to say that a person's a person that has no sense of humor, doesn't know how to talk, doesn't know how to keep himself clean and present himself, doesn't have any kind of value to bring to the table. Would you ever spend time around a person like that? No. Maybe you spend 1 or 2 times, you're like, yeah, I'm not even gonna waste my time going and hang out with that dude. So it's like, you gotta bring value, you gotta have a personality, you gotta have that's truly it. It's that personality. And we all know a personality isn't about one detail. It's about multiple things. It's about a variety, a spectrum of details that makes that person who that person is. And it's the same with the brand. It's the exact same with the brand. You need to have that brand personality built out. And you can't do that with just the logo, some packaging, and an IG. So save yourself the time, the money, and expense. And if that's all you plan to do is your brand, just don't do it. Just skip it, because you're not gonna get too far anyway. And especially if you're planning to do that for THC, it's not worth it. You might as well just save your money and, go invest in some crypto or some futures or something. But anyway, I don't wanna turn this into a rambling video. However, take advantage of these next 12 months, but at the same time, build your licensed cannabis footprint at the same time. Get your supply chain partnerships built out. And more importantly, if you're gonna take this serious, take it serious. Don't half-ass it, but build your brand the right way. Build out the foundation, build out that blueprint, and then start getting your graphics made, start getting your logo made, start getting your website made. Do not do any of that until your brand foundation is properly built out. And I can't stress that enough, because no matter what you do after that, you spend marketing, you do promo, you do celebrity shout outs, you do magazine articles, you do podcast interviews. I don't care what you do. You get up on stage with Trump, it doesn't matter. But if you don't have your brand foundation built out properly, it's not gonna go as far as it should or could or would go. And when you have that brand foundation built out properly, and then you put marketing behind it, you put celebrity shout outs behind it, you put press releases behind it, you put magazine articles behind it, you do events behind it, and that brand foundation is there, having that same personality, having that consistency in every way it's showing up, that's gonna be supercharged. It's gonna be so powerful, it's gonna be impossible to not work, in a sense. You really gotta do something hard to fuck it up. But the vice versa of that, if you just whip up a logo, some packaging, IG, and a website and start selling weed in it, good luck. And it's literally just noise in the market at that point. And you're not gonna get the profits you need to sustain, and those brands are just gonna die off automatically. They're just gonna kill themselves off anyway. So it really does not even matter. That's why you just wanna focus on what you're doing, do it the right way, don't cut corners, and put good energy out there. Live in abundance mindset. Stop living in lack. Stop living in scarcity. Stop living in fear. Stop living in doubt. And instead, focus on what you can focus on. Keep your eye on the end goal. Take inspired action every day. And don't let others' criticisms and negativity bring you down. That's why you want to really keep your circle small. Don't allow people to complain around you. Anytime that starts happening, change the conversation or walk away. Complaining is like, It's like breathing in secondhand smoke. You just don't want to be around it. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap this video up. Be sure to click the links below. Book the call with me if you're serious. Don't waste my time if you're not. If you just wanna talk to me because you've seen me on YouTube, I'm getting way too many calls booked for that. I'm actually gonna have to have someone start helping me with these calls to screen the calls before I actually get on the calls. I'm still gonna do them free, but I'm only doing them free with people who are serious and who actually understand what it is they're getting into and why they're getting into it. And I respect everyone else who just wants to potentially do it or they're interested in it. That's great, and that's what this free content's for. And I really appreciate the support on this channel. However, building a licensed cannabis brand or building even a hemp cannabis brand, it's not for the faint of heart and it's not for everybody. And even if it's something that you're interested in, you can still be involved in it without having to own the brand or having to put that risk out there or having to show up with that heavy consistency. And if that's the case, there's plenty of positions that these brands need, such as content creators, media production, brand ambassadors, creative directors, packaging designers, graphic designers, technical people, AI people. So if you're good at any of these skills, and even some I forgot to list off, I'm just naming off the top of my head here. If you're good at any of these, they all are needed to run and operate a licensed cannabis brand or a hemp cannabis brand. So figure out if it's an industry you're interested in, figure out how to take those skills and those strengths, how you can turn that, productize that into, whether it be a marketing agency, a graphic design agency, a brand ambassador agency. You can figure out ways to actually solve a specific niche problem for these cannabis brands and offer them that too. So that's like selling the picks and shovels to the gold miners. So understand, you don't have to just get in as a cannabis brand owner. You could be an employee of the brand. You could be a brand ambassador. You could help behind the scenes on the production side. You can help with marketing. Marketing is a very, very important part. So there's a lot of key things. You also need some just manual labor type people to help with packaging, people to help with transporting event supplies to the event, helping to set up for the events, people to help do light build outs or light mechanical type stuff, fixing things or setting things up, building things out, getting your event setups built out. So like all these different components, if you're smart in these areas, figure out how you can fit into this industry. It's a huge industry that's just continuing to grow, and cannabis is becoming normalized. So much so that the alcohol companies are getting not only scared, but they're getting into cannabis too to help prop up their bottom line that's been declining because they can't sell as much alcohol as they used to. So it's a growing industry. It's not going anywhere. Even with this ban, it's not going anywhere. It's just that demand's gonna just convert over both to traditional market as well as the licensed market. If you're in the licensed market, I'm not saying you can't be in the traditional market and be in the licensed market, but by being in the licensed market, it's gonna make your traditional market that much bigger. So you really can't go wrong by being in the licensed cannabis market as a brand that doesn't own the license. I'd be telling you a lie if I told you to go get a license and get into the licensed cannabis market, because that's a for sure way to go bankrupt. But the real profits are made as the brand. Let the license holders own the license and deal with all that burden, deal with the compliance, deal with the heavy costs and expenses and the risks of owning the license. But as the brand, you're like the celebrity. You get to go show up, have fun, interact with the people, go to the parties, go to the events, sell the weed, do the cool content marketing. It's the fun part of the job. You don't want to be in the back end doing the compliance, doing the books, doing the production, doing the busy work, dealing with robberies, dealing with state inspectors, dealing with compliance audits, dealing with paperwork. Let the license holders deal with that. So instead, focus on your brand. I keep saying it. It just bothers me that so many people had the opportunity to get this legal money through the THCA market, and now they're about to lose. Because even now, at 12 months out, for you to build out your brand properly, for you to set up your online your online sales, for you to get a distro deal, for you to get into smoke shops. It's gonna take you 6 months at least to even do that, even if you're starting right now, let alone build up the traction of launching a new brand. So it's like, by the time, even if you started today fresh, maybe you'll get 6 months out of this remaining market, but you would have to take massive action every day, not hold back, not do some work and then not do some work and then do some work and then not do some work. You got to take this serious. And so you can still squeeze by, get in, get some money. But imagine if you would have started this 2, 3, 4 months ago and already had all that heavy lifting out the way to where you could just be hitting the ground running right now, really running it up for the next 12 months. So don't lose these next 3 or 4 months. Start today, start now, get in there, get the right brand foundation built out. Because if you don't have the right brand foundation, it does not matter what you do next. You just might as well save the money and don't cut those corners. So anyway, click the links below. Check out my free brand building program. Join the school community, join the Telegram community, watch the YouTube videos. I just got all my IGs back. I'm just putting out all this free content. Again, I want to help 1,000 people build up $1 million brand. And the chances of that happening are low. It's a 9% chance. By JP Morgan did a study, it's a 9% chance that any small businesses hit $1 million per year. But in this cannabis industry, revenue is so high, the chances are a bit higher. So do you want to be part of that 9%? Because I know all the people that are watching this, all the people that have that opportunity, it's only about 1,000 of you that are actually going to make it. So I hope that this content helps you guys, and I can't wait to see these brands flourish and become profitable and scale and last for a long time. So thanks for watching, thanks for supporting the content, and I'll see you on the other side.